I'm selling this, yet you went ahead and bought this. Everybody knows something.
Selling dick and cocaine. Selling dick and cocaine in this world today.
You wanna go where everybody knows something.
Selling dick in the... Selling dick and cocaine in this world today takes everything I got. Taking a break from all this fucking showing up helps a lot.
You wanna go where everybody knows something.
Selling dick and cocaine in this world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all this fucking showing up helps a lot. But wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes we like to go where everybody snorts cocaine. And everybody knows your name. We wanna go where everybody snorts cocaine. We wanna go where everybody snorts cocaine. Cocaine. Selling dick in the world and selling dick and cocaine in this world today takes everything I got. Taking a break from all this fucking showing up helps a lot. But wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes we like to go where everybody snorts cocaine. Boom, boom, boom.
This is for the ones, the world forgot, the broken, the lost, the ones.
How y'all doing? Wait a minute. How y'all doing? Let's get this started. Lee Jeans. Lee Jeans. Hey, my boy. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. John Felipe. Bro, you must be a bad barber if you got that much free time. I'm an expensive barber. You can't afford a haircut. You ain't sitting in my chair right now. I'm a real barber. I don't work every day, all day. I don't want to work. I ain't trying to cut nobody. I don't even want to cut nobody hair. Nigga, if I cut your hair, my sole motivation is the money that you gonna pay me in the beginning, nigga, not the end, the beginning. You gonna give me my $150 up front, nigga. Fuck you mean? I sell haircuts like I sold dope, nigga. When I sold crack, you had to bring me your money first before you got the crack from me. And then you wouldn't get it directly from me. I would give you instructions where to go to get the crack. Like, that was my rules. If you didn't follow my rules, then you wouldn't get no crack from me. Push that like button. You say, I wouldn't trust you neither. I wouldn't trust you, nigga, because you walk around with no beard and mustache. I bet you ain't got no beard and mustache. Never trust a black man, any man with no beard and mustache. Them niggas cannot be trusted. I wouldn't trust you, nigga, because your name is two first names. Never trust a nigga with two first names. John, Felipe. Nigga, the fuck? You got an American first name and a Mexican last. I don't understand. Fuck out of here. Don't make me make you the subject of the matter of my day, nigga. Cause I'll be the wrong nigga to beam me in on your broke ass. Like, yeah. Cause you the one ain't got nothing to do with your time. Your broke ass watching me on social media, on the internet, nigga. You ain't got no job. I'm sitting in front of my business. Fuck you mean? I ain't on no clock. I own the clock, nigga. I get turned on and turn off when the fuck I feel like. See, you ain't got no occupational career and own your own business like me, nigga. You's a worker. What time you got to be at work tonight? What time you got to get to Amazon? And how many minutes late before you get penalized? You got to work for a free 15 minutes. You got there at 6:45 and you were supposed to be there at 6:30. And now you got to work for 15 minutes. Your time don't start till 7 o'clock. I know. Broke ass niggas, work a job ass, having a job ass nigga. I don't know what that feel like. I ain't never had one. Anyways, we finna talk about war. We finna talk about the agenda of America, politics, what Trump got in plan. I got all this information to tell y'all how this war that Trump is finna pull us in is finna make us a lot of money. We finna make a lot of money. Please invest into these companies I'm finna tell y'all to invest into. If you invest today, you gonna get into some breakthrough shit. You finna get into some shit that's finna pay you back so much money. But we ain't gonna. Y'all really don't even know what's going on right now, right? Y'all know the real reason why they at war in Iran?
Israel has carried out a wave of strikes against at least dozens of targets in Iran, including nuclear facilities, ballistic missile sites, and some of the country's top military and nuclear officials. The key question is, why now? Well, first, from Iran's perspective, Iran is arguably at its weakest.
They found nuclear weapons? No, they didn't. Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, we have detected the snake head. For all the wars that we done been into for all these years, he said Gaddafi was a threat to the region. He said that Saddam Hussein was a threat to the region. He said that Iraq, everybody that he say is trying to build a nuclear bomb, we end up going to war with these people because of the Israeli president, This net nuke, this ain't nothing but the devil. He's the Antichrist. And he's starting to come, and now he's been exposed, and he do not care. He's the Antichrist. He is killing kids and women. Talking about we're focusing on the Iranian military infrastructure. Man, they done killed more Iranian children and kids and women than anything. He is the worst out of all of them. And we just now starting to see it. I watched the video last night with everything that they talked about.
And diplomatically, especially as the U.S. was watching what it saw as Israeli preparations.
Watch it. We finna go back to this on a whole nother level.
If you're tired of gray hair making you look older than you are, watch this. The endless cycle of box dyes and salon visits is exhausting. All that time, money, and effort only for
Iran.
What exactly is a bunker buster bomb, and why Israel is pushing to use this weapon in its attacks on Iran? A retired U.S. Army lieutenant colonel will break down why Israel says it is critical to their mission. Plus, a major breakthrough against the fight in AIDS. This is huge. Dr. Amesh Ajala will join us to explain what we know about the groundbreaking HIV drug just approved by the FDA. We are told it is nearly 100% effective. You're going to want to stick around for this conversation. And today, of course, is Juneteenth. I will speak to Dr. Karita Brown, a historical and cultural sociologist professor at Emory University, about the significance of the federal holiday and how some celebrations might look a little different this year amid the administration's DEI rollback. So you're going to want to hear what she had.
Here we go.
This is how Israel rewrites its history.
The Arabs said there can't be a Jewish state. You have no right to be here.
Wrong. Netanyahu completely distorts Palestinian sentiments. Instead of saying you have no right to a Jewish state, Palestinians are simply expressing you have no right to take our land and deny us self-determination.
We decided to establish a state in 1948, and we said everybody can live here.
Wrong. Netanyahu sanitizes history and completely ignores the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians that took place in 1948's Nakba. Israel was built on the dead bodies of 15,000 Palestinians, 78% of stolen Palestinian land, the removal of 1.9 million people from their homes, and the destruction of 530 villages and cities.
The Arabs were the colonials. The Jews were the natives dispossessed.
Wrong. Historian Bernard Lewis noted that during periods of persecution in medieval Europe, many Jews sought refuge in Muslim lands. This is how Israel rewrites its history.
The Arabs said there can't be a Jewish state. You have no right to be here.
Wrong. Netanyahu completely distorts Palestinian sentiments. Instead of saying you have no right to a Jewish state, Palestinians are simply expressing you have no right to take our land and deny us self-determination.
We decided to establish a state in 1948, and we said everybody can live here.
Wrong.
I'm here because a few days ago Israel attacked Iran, and Iran is my motherland. It's I have families there, my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law, and all my friends lives there. And I came here to speak up, to say to our president, we don't need war. I'm here as a
Deep, dark son of a sorry to tell you. Why did the U.S. invade Iraq in 2003? Where did that war come from? You know what? It's quite surprising. That war came from Netanyahu, actually.
If you take out Saddam, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
Netanyahu had from 1995 onward the theory that the only way we're going to get rid of Hamas and Hezbollah is by toppling Iraq, Syria, and Iran. And the guy's nothing if not obsessive. And he's still trying to get us to fight Iran this day, this week. He's a deep, dark son of a sorry to tell you. Because he's gotten us into endless wars, and because of the power of all of this in the U.S. politics, he's gotten his way. Deep, dark son of a sorry to tell you. Why did the U.S. invade Iraq in 2003?
Do you know why this animal doesn't fear anything? Because the capybara might just be the final boss of the animal kingdom. We're talking about a 140-pound walking potato, surrounded by over 100 crocodiles, and it just wades in, like it's clocking in for work. No panic, no hesitation, just pure chill. And somehow, no one touches it, not even the crocs. Literal prehistoric death lizards who'd snap a bird out of the sky for looking at them wrong. But the capybara, they give it space. They treat it like it's got plot armor. This isn't bravery, this is something else. It's like the Morgan Freeman of the jungle, or the Keanu Reeves of swamps. Everyone loves it, no one messes with it. This thing has mastered the rarest power of all, universal friendship. It vibes with monkeys, ducks, turtles, cats, caimans, even predators that could end it in 2 bites. And the wildest part, they actually like having it around. Scientists aren't even sure why. Maybe it's their scent, maybe it's their calmness, maybe it's just that nothing hates a capybara, because it hates nothing. Capybaras don't have enemies. They just walk through life like they're in a Studio Ghibli film.
Did you know that you can get an LLC in California on your lunch break from your phone? Just go to Zen Business, choose a name.
Okay, we are Mexican Navy. Awesome. And we are carrying out Coast Guard duty, okay? Awesome. Can I see your documents, please? Yes, sir. He's grabbing his. You guys want to tie on or something? Tie on if you want. No? There's some other stuff here. I'm not sure what you all need. I can hand it over. There ain't no fish. No, yesterday I was catching lots of fish. Today, not so much. What kind of fish? One fish. Rockfish. What are you guys actually looking for? If you don't, can I ask? Yeah. What documents is it that you care about? The first, your ID, your passport, your fishing license, the number of the boat. Okay. The captain. That would be me. And the biosphere? Yes. Okay. Because I have a TIP too, but I don't know if I gave it to you. You want to know? Yes, sir. Am I missing anything you need? No. Okay. This is the best place to fish, man. Right here? I love this area. Here? The Zionists have no part of the Make America Great Again movement. You need to get out. We don't want to fund your country. We are no part of you. Why don't you go to Israel? Why don't you go to Israel? If you support Israel, go to Israel.
Because Jews have no place in America, right?
Of course they do.
Good. You know what?
Who do you have allegiance to?
Maybe you would do a lot worse. I have allegiance to that flag that you are disgraced.
Why do you come here with an Israel flag? I saw you with an Israel flag.
Of course, I love Israel. It's America's greatest ally. Absolutely.
Greatest ally. What do they give us?
Let me ask you.
What does Israel give us?
What does it give to
bombs?
What we give Israel gives us is the
What happened on 9/11?
Did the Jews do it?
Of course.
The Jews did 9/11.
Of course Israel did 9/11.
To this Jew hater.
Of course Israel did 9/11. I love Jews. You make Jews in America look bad.
You love Jews?
I love Jews. It's the difference between Zionists and Jews.
Is Israel the Jewish
state? It's a genocidal state. You're the only one who has allegiance to another country. You should fuck up Israel. Who hates Jews?
Anti-Semitism. We know you. We know who you are. Look at this. Another idiot.
You're an embarrassment on the Jewish community. Genuinely. The Zionists have no part of the Make America Great Again movement. You need to get out. We don't want to fund your country. We are no part of you. Why don't you go to Israel? Why don't you go to Israel? If you support Israel, go to Israel.
Because Jews have no place in America, right?
Of course they do.
Good. You know what?
Who do you have allegiance to?
Maybe you would do a
Answer
lot
that
worse.
question.
Keep watching if your recent car accident was not your fault, because I've got a way that you could get through.
And he trusted us, and he made us feel so good. He made us feel so good, and he passed me the ball. He never passed me the ball. And he passed me the ball. Chloe passed me the ball.
why is this gate open? That ain't good.
Uh-oh, somebody's been back here.
Uh-oh, if I can grab that. Shit, man. Sorry. Fuck, I forgot all about that son of a bitch. God damn, the neck hurts now. Are you okay, babe? Alright, cool. Fuck.
Give us trying to get on 2003, 2004. So it was, he didn't have any money. He wasn't this big drug dealer that he tries to claim to be. First of all, he never was a big drug dealer. He was always a corner boy. Let's get that straight. Like anybody from Jamaica, Queens, Southside Jamaica, Queens, Boo was known for his hands, and he was a corner boy. He may have like little Yales and that under him, but he was always a corner boy. He was no.
If you live in America, who can't you criticize? Who can't you criticize in America? An easy way to know if you are controlled. Is there somebody or something that you're not allowed to criticize? If you lived in Nazi Germany, you couldn't criticize the Nazi Party. If you lived in the Soviet Union, you couldn't criticize the Communist Party of Russia. If you live in China right now, you can't criticize the Chinese Communist Party. If you live in North Korea, you can't criticize Kim Jong-un. If you live in America, who can't you criticize? Who?
The Jews.
Who can't you criticize in America?
The Jews.
Yes, on both sides. That's right. You're not. The fact that we're having this discussion and we're on the edge. Why are we on the edge? Because we're touching the third rail. We're breaking the taboo. You're not allowed to discuss the power of the Israeli lobby in America. That's proof right there. They control America. That's who's controlling free speech in this country. If you live in America...
Wait. If you were detained at any San Bernardino juvenile...
Why do you believe the Jews were expelled from Jerusalem by the Romans? God wanted to expel us. Why? God wanted you in that land. Why did he expel you? What have you done? What did you do? Between us and God. What do you mean that's between you and God? Why were you expelled from Jerusalem? It's irrelevant. Previously, when you were expelled from Jerusalem, what had happened? Was there some sin? It's irrelevant. This is where the crux of the matter is. The land that was given to the Jews was under the condition that you serve God alone and you submit to him and you do not sacrifice your children, you do not sacrifice the false deities, and you put God first. What happened? The rabbis came, the Jewish people, they committed child sacrifice. Every time a prophet would come to them and say, stay away from child sacrifice, they killed the prophets. Then you began to take your rabbis as lords. You have in your Talmud the Tandur of Achnai, where the rabbis said one thing and one rabbi alone said something else. The voice of heaven came down and said the truth is with that rabbi. The rabbis here said it is not in heaven, it is with us. So you believe that the rabbis have the authority to legislate law and God has no say in the matter. Why do you believe the Jews were expelled from Jerusalem by the Romans?
This was Hitler's response when U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt sent him a list of countries he should not attack.
Endlich die Bereitwilligkeit in die Zusicherung zu geben, dass die deutschen Streitkräfte das Staatsgebiet folgender unabhängiger Nationen nicht angreifen und er nennt Finnland, Lettland, Litauen, Estland, Norwegen, Schweden, Dänemark, Niederlande, Belgien, Großbritannien, Irland, Frankreich, Portugal, Spanien, die Schweiz, Liechtenstein, Luxemburg, Polen, Ungarn, Rumänien, Jugoslawien, Russland, Bulgarien, Türkei, Irak, Arabien, Syrien, Palästina,
Subscribe for more. This was Hitler's response when U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt sent him a list of countries he should not attack.
Endlich die Bereitwilligkeit in die Zusicherung zu geben, dass die deutschen Streitkräfte das Staatsgebiet folgender unabhängiger Nationen nicht angreifen und er nennt Finnland, Lettland, Litauen, Estland.
The man transfers the aluminum foil to the drill machine. What seems like an ordinary moment could be the birth of an incredible invention. Soon, a shiny aluminum ball.
They're 17 and trading on their phones while you're still chasing paychecks at 50. Disappear from social media and do this instead. For people over 50 who didn't...
Watch carefully. 3 hounds are chasing a wild rabbit from different directions. They launch an attack, and although the rabbit faces certain death, it refuses to give up, knowing that only by trying can it survive. The rabbit uses its agility to change direction constantly, making it difficult for the hounds to catch up. Although this tactic consumes the hound's energy, They are very familiar with the rabbit's strategies. In order to successfully capture the rabbit, the three hounds adopt a relay strategy to cope with its attempts to escape. Although the rabbit has not been caught, the hounds have not effectively exhausted their energy. Instead, the rabbit has worn itself out. In an attempt to escape the pursuing hounds, the rabbit runs towards the road, seeking an opportunity to flee. However, to its dismay, the hounds continue to pursue relentlessly, proving to be formidable adversaries for the rabbit. With no other option to elude capture, the rabbit is forced to retreat back into its cage. Two of the hounds block the road, preventing the rabbit from escaping again. In a desperate bid for survival, the rabbit risks another escape from its cage, but unfortunately, it fails. To lure the hounds away, the rabbit runs deeper into danger. After a prolonged sprint, the rabbit's energy is rapidly depleting, yet it refuses to give up and continues running to stay alive. Although the rabbit successfully lures the hounds, it knows it cannot keep this up for much longer due to its dwindling stamina. As the rabbit attempts to escape, the hounds use a relay strategy to continue the pursuit, with the second hound accelerating to try and attack it. At a critical moment, the rabbit makes a desperate turn, but the third hound also accelerates and the rabbit is clearly struggling. Desperate and helpless, the rabbit musters the last of its strength to make another daring escape toward the road. In the end, the three hounds encircle the rabbit, successfully capturing it.
I want to congratulate you. You have a very sophisticated constituency to ask questions like this.
Just because you're poor doesn't mean you're ignorant. I actually, with all due respect, only get 5 minutes, so I'm going to ask, my constituents have sent me a list of questions that they just want yes or no answers to, and out of respect for the time and the fact that they want some clarity, I hope that you'll just say yes or no. The first question is, will the big, beautiful bill add to the national debt? Yes or no? Is that a yes or a no? That's a no? Yes?
Sorry?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
It remains to be seen.
The second question that they wanted me to ask is, will all Americans have a net benefit from this beautiful big bill?
It is my it's difficult to...
Yes or no?
Again, it's impossible to say all Americans. It is ridiculous for me to have an answer for 337 million.
So someone who makes $1 million, and no one in my district makes $1 million, to my knowledge, will get a tax increase. Will get a tax benefit of $81,000. That's $223 a day. Now, the average tax rate in 2027 for people making under $50,000, which in my district is about 63% of the people that I represent, they will only get a tax break of $265, which is 73 cents per day. But the fact of the matter is, if you're only saving me $268 and you're taking away my health care, you're taking away my health, which 16 million Americans will have no health care, will lose their health care, and they have to lose their health care in order for you guys to actually pay for your bill. I mean, to pay for your bill by kicking people off health insurance and giving them no health care, to me is immoral and not fair. The last question that I was asked to ask you was, when will we hit the debt ceiling?
I want to congratulate you. You have a very sophisticated constituency to ask questions like this. The so-called X date is a...
With all due respect, just because you're poor doesn't mean you're ignorant.
I want to congratulate you. You have a very sophisticated...
So I finally got my claim for my car accident.
Of course, war is horrible, so...
Why pay $25,000 for implants when you can pay $8,999? Here's what some of our patients were quoted.
Competition wanted to do
sexual assault. We got our hands on a new lawsuit filed Friday in Los Angeles Superior Court by an actor named Derek Dixon, who starred on one of Perry's hit shows. We want to break down this lawsuit and what it could mean for the movie mogul. We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. So to start off, Dixon is suing Tyler Perry, the individual, as well as his production studio. That studio is called TPS Production Services, LLC. That stands for Tyler Perry Studios in Action, LLC. He is looking for $260 million. Dixon, who portrayed a lead role in Perry's show called The Oval, is claiming 10 causes of action for the civil suit. Quid pro quo sexual harassment, work environment sexual harassment, workplace gender violence, violation of the Bain Act, a California law that protects against violation of someone's civil rights through force or coercion, sexual battery, sexual assault, negligent retention, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and retaliation. Let's get into this lawsuit. The complaint starts off by saying, quote, "This case arises from a sustained pattern of workplace sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation perpetrated by Tyler Perry, a powerful media mogul, against plaintiff Derek Dixon, a professional actor and screenwriter. Mr. Perry is an American actor, filmmaker, and playwright who has built one of the most successful careers in the film and television industry. Mr. Perry took his success and power and used his considerable influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, sexually exploitive dynamic with Mr. Dixon, initially promising him career advancement and creative opportunities, such as producing his pilot and casting him in his show, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted advances. These events occurred while Mr. Dixon was employed as a series regular on the Tyler Perry show, The Oval, while Mr. Perry held direct control over his employment, compensation, and creative opportunities. This lawsuit even compares Perry to some other infamous celebrities who have been called out for their behavior in the past. Quote, "Just like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Kevin Spacey, Roger Ailes, and many others in the industry, Mr. Perry's success has led him to believe that money and influence can get him whatever he wants. That belief slowly transformed into the false idea that Mr. Perry can get whomever he wants." According to the lawsuit, Dixon was working as part of an event staff at a party that Perry was hosting in Atlanta when Perry noticed him and offered him the chance to audition for a part in one of his hit TV shows. Before we get back to this bombshell lawsuit involving Tyler Perry, I want to bring you a law and crime legal alert. If you received a Depo-Provera birth control shot and were later diagnosed with a brain or a spinal tumor called meningioma, you may be eligible for a lawsuit. Our partners at Morgan & Morgan are investigating claims that patients weren't properly warned about this risk. It is free to check, it takes just a few minutes, and you don't pay unless they win. So scan the QR code on your screen. You can also click the link in the description of this video or go to www.forthepeople.com/LCDEPO to see if you qualify.
If you were detained at any San Bernardino juvenile detention facility, such as High Desert or Gilbert Street.
This is the money glitch that's getting former detainees.
We are back with a Fox News alert. President Trump is set to receive an intelligence briefing this morning as the violence in the Middle East continues to worsen. Lucas Tomlinson is live in Washington with the very latest. Hi, Lucas.
Good early morning, Carly. The U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem remains closed through Friday as President Trump continues to weigh whether or not to launch airstrikes against Iran. Here's the president yesterday.
They should have made the deal. I had a great deal for them. They should have made that deal. 60 days we talked about it, and in the end they decided not to do it, and now they wish they did it. And they want to meet, but it's a little late to meet, but they want to meet, and they want to come to the White House. So we can come to the White House. So we'll see. I may do that.
Now, the Iranians rejected that, saying they will not be coming to Washington's mission at the UN, posting no Iranian official has ever asked to grovel at the gates of the White House. The only thing more despicable than his lies is his cowardly threat to take out Iran's supreme leader. Iran does not negotiate under duress, shall not accept peace under duress. And minutes ago, the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem posted a new message urging U.S. government employees and family members in Israel to continue sheltering in place after the largest hospital in the country was hit by an Iranian ballistic missile. Yesterday, Trump's ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee, posting on X, urgent notice, American citizens wanting to leave Israel. U.S. Embassy in Israel is working on evacuation flights and cruise ship departures. And while President Trump mulls whether to strike Iran, U.S. military assets continue to pour into the Middle East. The Israelis also have a ground option for destroying Fordo, Iran's massive nuclear weapons complex, using elite commandos from Unit 5101 Shaldag. Carly?
Important to point out there. Lucas Tomlinson live for us. Lucas, thank you. Israel's Special Envoy for Combating Anti-Semitism, Michal Kotler-Wunsch, joins me now, and thank you so much for doing just that. According to the Wall Street Journal, President Trump has approved an attack plan for Iran, but is holding off to see if Tehran will abandon their nuclear program. So what are the chances, in your estimation, of Iran voluntarily giving it up at this point?
So thank you, Carly, for having me on. And I would say the chances are zero voluntarily giving up. And we have seen systematically this genocidal Islamic regime in Iran utilize billions of its resources, fueled by the very same anti-Semitism that saw the annihilation of Jews in a final solution before their eyes, even as the Allies were nearing. That is what we are experiencing now. As you mentioned, the largest hospital in Israel's south was targeted deliberately. And as Iran continues to target civilians,
target
children,
the next hospital
people
too.
sleeping in their beds, and as we said,
they're gonna hit the other hospital. They're gonna hit all y'all hospitals.
Of course, services and employees, Arabs and Jews, side by side, we know that the only mission that they have continues to be not just the annihilation of the state of Israel, the small devil, but the big devil, the destruction of the United States and our shared civilization.
A notable comment from President Trump yesterday on the role Russia is playing in all of this. Listen here.
And I spoke to him yesterday, and I said, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later.
Point taken. And also, a Telegraph is reporting that China reportedly sent mystery transport planes to Iran, and these planes often carry military weapons. So will Russia and China play a role in this? And if so, what will it be?
Look, Carly, we're at this moment, we're an axis of evil, and you have mentioned many of its partners in this 2025 axis of evil that is being emboldened by the lack of moral clarity of over the past more than 20 months of a raging war waged and launched on the October 7th massacre attack of barbarism on civilization. That axis of evil and all of its proxies that they have been placed around the world begins with what we see as a showdown, as the front lines, if you will, taking place right now as we speak with this attack on the state of Israel. But as I said, and as anti-Semitism, a thousands of year-old hate teaches. What begins with the Jews, and in this case, the Jew among nations, that is the state of Israel, never ends with the Jews. And so the understanding that it is that lethal anti-Semitism that we have seen a tsunami of in the past almost 21 months since that October 7th massacre, that continues raging and fueling and actually binding together that axis of evil that you have mentioned, that peddle and continue to spread blood libel that actually incites and fuels cold-blooded murder, including in Washington, including in Boulder, Colorado, is something that we all have to be paying attention to as this war of barbarism and civilization continues.
Yeah, and you mentioned Boulder, Colorado. The people there were participating in an event to raise awareness for the hostages in Gaza. And you can't forget them. How do these missile attacks between Iran and Israel right now impact their situation, still being held hostage?
Carly, the devastation of thinking that there are 53 human beings languishing in the terror tunnels and dungeons, that Hamas, but one genocidal terror proxy of that fire ring that an Islamic regime in Iran built over decades, fueling with weapons, with systems, and with the funds for an underground terror tunnel system longer than the New York subway system, is unbearably heartbreaking. The knowledge for these families, and I have to be very clear, that the violation of law and morality in which their continued holding has been sort of received with international silence.
I really hate this shit. Get rid of all you niggas. Get rid of all you niggas.
Welcome back. Today is Juneteenth. It's a federal holiday celebrating the end of slavery in the United States. But as diverse initiatives are facing backlash across the country, some corporations are putting back
Fly your ass on it.
celebrations.
Niggas and flies. I can't stand them motherfuckers. Damn. How y'all doing? Strong Light. What's up, Marco? Jeff. He is the worst out of all of them. Okay, I'm waiting on this damn lady to come.
Are you feeling stuck with $10,000 or more in debt and all the interest that comes with it? Try National Debt Relief, as seen on the Wall Street Journal podcast.
In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court upholding Tennessee's law banning certain medical treatments for transgender minors. Lucas Tomlinson has the details. Lucas?
Well, good morning, Ains. It was a highly anticipated ruling with implications nationwide. The Supreme Court ruling to uphold a Tennessee law banning medical procedures, including puberty blockers, to transition minors to another sex. Clarence Thomas writing, quote, "This case carries a simple lesson. In politically contentious debates over matters shrouded in scientific uncertainty, courts should not assume that self-described experts are correct." The ruling drew protesters outside the Supreme Court yesterday. Earlier on Fox and Friends First, an attorney in California says more states should follow suit after this Supreme Court ruling.
Right now, we have 27 states that have restrictions on gender interventions on children. Gavin Newsom and his attorney general already have stated that they're going to continue to push forward with gender interventions on kids. So the blue states need help, so we need congressional action.
Attorney General Pam Bondi posting, "I applaud today's Supreme Court decision that allows states to protect vulnerable children from genital mutilation and other so-called gender-affirming care that leaves children permanently disfigured and scarred." Justice Sonia Sotomayor, one of 3 justices who dissented, writes, "By retreating from meaningful judicial review exactly where it matters most, the court abandons transgender children and their families to political whims. In sadness, I dissent." Following the Supreme Court's ruling, the next steps likely involve legal challenges to similar bans in other states, including funding for these kinds of transgender procedures. Rick?
All right, Lucas Tomlinson.
So I finally got my claim for my car accident. I'm a little bummed. Really? They only offered me $5,000. What? I know. $5,000? I feel like that does not sound right because I had a car accident and I got offered $52,000. What? I literally was injured. I had to go to the hospital, see specialists, doctors, constant treatment, following up. My back and shoulder are never going to be the same. Did you use Case Connect's compensation calculator? Like, they have an AI calculator and literally, like, it's going to get you.
Wait, I now want to bring in ABC News contributor, retired General Robert Abrams. He's the former commander of U.S. forces in Korea. Thank you for being here with us. And first of all, what could potentially U.S. involvement really look like in this conflict? You just saw Louis lay out some options there, right? Do we send ground troops? Are they in the air as well, but
That's all I
remaining in
get.
some sort of
7
defensive
lights, 8
posture?
people.
How are you analyzing this?
I'm really just getting started.
Well, I think you have to take
God
it from
bless
a
from
broader
Colorado.
picture of what we
Thank
already
y'all.
had
Come
the
on
region
in,
and what's
push that like
transpired
button.
over the last,
Subscribe,
say, 7
like.
days. Significantly, we've got somewhere between 30 and 40,000 troops already in the region, and we've been surging all sorts of aircraft, fighters, bombers, as well as critical air refueling assets to be able to sustain air operations. I think on the scale of what's most likely, if we were to make some sort of contribution, would be something from air, either as Louis described with B-2 or B-52s coming out of Diego Garcia, or maybe some fighter aircraft escorting Israelis as they continue their operations. But all of that, again, we ought to be really clear about this. All of this is speculative. The Department of Defense gets paid to create options for the president. And I'm confident that they've laid out a full array of different options. And we're just going to have to wait and see.
I'm waiting on pins and needles for that, especially as we know Russia now warning the U.S. against providing any direct military aid to Israel. How significant is that warning, especially coming from Russia in this moment?
Yeah, well, I think the threat from Russia is possible. I think there's a much bigger threat if we were to get involved to Iranian forces directly attacking U.S. forces in the region, or worse, Iranian proxy forces striking U.S. forces. Again, we've got, somewhere between, troops arrayed across 8 to, 15 bases throughout the region. Baghdad, Kuwait, Al-Assad Air Base in western Iraq, the UAE, Bahrain. This is why we've ordered the partial evacuation of the embassy in Baghdad and provided resources for withdrawal of U.S. dependence out of Bahrain. They're all within range of Iranian ballistic missiles, and they're all within range of Iranian proxy forces who have been attacking U.S. forces for, probably since 1979, but certainly in our most recent experience since 2003. So we're all well versed in the Iranian playbook in attacking U.S. forces using proxy forces, and that, I think, is a huge risk to our forces in the region.
That is deeply, deeply concerning, especially because there's been a thought that these proxy groups were perhaps depleted in this moment. But if that is a plan, right, that is deeply concerning. General Robert Abrams, it's always good to
Yeah, that's not happening.
That's good to know. Listen, I hope we can continue to discuss this. Thank you so much for coming on here with us.
Pursue the other driver after a car accident. There's a better way to get paid a way bigger check without having to go to court or pay expensive upfront legal fees. Listen, if you've been in a car accident in the past year, even as a passenger, you could be owed a significant cash payout. While most victims are struggling with insurance companies and lawyers, others are receiving 6- and 7-figure payouts without ever stepping foot in a courtroom. Here's how to never have to worry about money after a car accident. It's called the 2025 Compensation Program, and we recently launched it across a couple more states to help victims get the maximum amount they're owed without the usual hassles of dealing with insurance directly, going to court, or paying expensive upfront legal fees. And right now, we're looking for 10 more car accident victims.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has warned any U.S. military action in Iran will be, quote, met with irreparable harm. Khamenei's warning comes a day after President Trump demanded Iran's unconditional surrender. Trump also directly threatened Khamenei by writing on Truth Social, the U.S. knows exactly where he is, adding, quote, we are not going to take him out, at least not for now, unquote. Multiple reports indicate Trump is moving closer to ordering U.S. airstrikes on Iran after months of supporting negotiations. On Tuesday, Trump, after leaving the G7 summit early, dismissed findings by his own intelligence agencies on Iran. In March, the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, told lawmakers the intelligence community, quote, continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, unquote. On Tuesday, Trump dismissed Gabbard's testimony, saying, quote, I don't care what she said, unquote. This all comes as Israel continues to attack Iran for a 6th day, forcing thousands of people to flee Tehran. More than 50 Israeli warplanes struck targets inside Iran in the early hours of today. Iran responded by firing ballistic missiles and launching drones at Israel. According to one count, Israeli strikes since Friday have killed at least 585 people across Iran and wounded over 1,300. Iranian strikes on Israel have killed at least 23 people and injured more than 630. On Capitol Hill, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine called on his colleagues to support his war powers resolution to prevent a U.S. war with Iran.
I happen to believe that the United States engaging in a war against Iran, a third war in the Middle East,
since 2001 would be a catastrophic blunder for this country.
Meanwhile, there's a growing split within Trump's MAGA coalition over the prospect of a U.S. attack on Iran. Conservative TV host Tucker Carlson has railed against what he calls warmongers within the Republican Party. On Tuesday, video went viral of him interviewing the hawkish Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz.
If you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about...
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even. You don't know anything about Iran.
So, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government. You're the one who knows anything about the country.
In Gaza, the death toll from an Israeli attack on aid seekers in Khan Yunis on Tuesday has reached 70. Hundreds of Palestinians were also wounded after Israeli forces used tanks, drones, and machine guns to fire on crowds who'd gathered hoping to receive bags of flour. The Nasser medical complex was overwhelmed with victims. This is Dr. Mark Brunner, a doctor from Oregon who's volunteering at Nasser medical complex.
Every time we know that there's a so-called food distribution, we know that there's going to be annihilation. And, the first couple of days we were seeing a lot of isolated injuries, head or chest or abdomen. But today it's reported that tanks have been used at the food distribution centers, which makes sense because we're seeing multi-trauma. We're seeing head, neck, chest, abdomen, extremities, many, many deaths. And it just doesn't have to be this way. This is something that's just got to stop.
In Geneva, a group of UN experts told the UN Human Rights Council Israel is committing war crimes and the crime against humanity of extermination. This is former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Navi Pillay.
These attacks were part of a widespread and relentless assault against the Palestinian people, in which Israeli forces have committed war crimes, including directing attacks against civilians and willful killing, and the crime against humanity of extermination. The goal of the Israeli government is abundantly clear: the destruction of life in Gaza.
Here in New York, ICE agents arrested New York City Controller Brad Lander Tuesday as he was escorting a man at an immigration courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Lander, who is running for mayor, was handcuffed and detained by agents after he demanded to see a judicial warrant as agents tried to detain the man he was accompanying.
Step back. You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. Sir, you don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens. You don't have to. I'm not obstructing. I'm standing right here in the hallway. I asked to see the judicial warrant. Am I asking for a judicial warrant? You don't have the authority to arrest U.S. citizens asking for a judicial warrant.
Brad Lander was held for several hours in the latest confrontation between Democratic politicians and federal immigration agents. Other mayoral candidates denounced Lander's arrest. New York State Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani wrote, "This is fascism." And former Governor Andrew Cuomo said the arrest is an example of the, quote, extreme thuggery of Trump's ICE out of control. City Controller Brad Lander will join us later in the hour. On Capitol Hill, California, Democratic Senator Alex Padilla took to the Senate floor Tuesday to recount how federal agents shoved him into a hallway floor and handcuffed him last week when he attempted to ask a question during a press conference held by Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem.
I was pushed and pulled, struggled to maintain my balance. I was forced to the ground. First on my knees, and then flat on my chest.
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you can access up to $150,000 of capital for free at 0% interest rates to fund any business or investment that you want, all in the next 30 days. Chase's new program allows you to access up to $150,000 of free capital for your businesses and investments without needing any tax returns, bank statements, or pay stubs, and it doesn't require an upfront payment either. If that sounds interesting to you, I create a full case study analysis on this new program that Chase is offering and how not only you can access up to $150,000 for free from Chase, but how you can do this with many other banks as well, so you could fund your businesses and investments and create financial and time freedom. Just click the link on this video and I'll show you exactly how. My name is Andrew Mbesi, and in 2023 alone, I helped over 2
Bless you all the way from Colorado mountains. How you doing, brother, sister? Brothers and sisters. Boys and girls. How long have I been live? 60 minutes, 1 hour. Oh my God. I got 1,200 views on my last video. I ain't make no money off of it, but 1,200 people watch me. That's real good. That's real good.
From producing nuclear weapons. The conflict is nearing the end of its first week.
We are so tired of hearing this bullshit. The reason why they going to war is to prevent that country from making nuclear weapons. Y'all got to come up with a new line to make people really, like, now this shit is getting outrageous. Y'all just killing people for no reason because y'all want to. And y'all showing us that y'all got the power to kill us too. So shut the fuck up and let us kill who we want to kill. I ain't got nothing to say about it. I ain't talking about it. But it's fucked up. If you sit here and act like you don't see what's going on. So this is the war they've been waiting on. The one country that's completely against their ass. But Iran got the power to take back over the Middle East. But what Israel don't realize is that they got a couple more countries on the other side of them that's Arabs too. When them Arabs snap together and say we is one in the name of Allah, Akbak Shabak Shabuk Dabak Blue Kabloo. When they get to screaming that shit out loud, nigga, I just can't wait till they start to unite and come together. And they finna start, it's finna be some crazy shit start popping off. We ain't seen no human bombs, you know, people that blew they self up in the name of Allah in a long time. Like back in the Iraq war back in the days, you know. They had babies that'll blow themselves up for the cause. For Allah, they'll blow themselves up. Y'all know what I'm talking about? A lot of people don't want to hear what I'm talking about right now. Yeah, I might be dumb, but I'm not stupid, motherfucker. I'm crazy. I'm dumb crazy. Crazy dumb. I'm crazy as hell and I'm dumb. Yeah, I'd rather be dumb than stupid, motherfucker. Crazy and stupid is two different things. But I'm very knowledgeable. I have a lot of knowledge in the back of here. On the side, on this side, everywhere. Built in, nigga. I don't mind being a little slow, a little dumb at times. See, everybody dumb sometimes. But I ain't crazy and stupid. I'm crazy and dumb. I bump my head and learn how to duck when I walk through the door. Common sense smart. And I believe common sense smart can outsmart anybody, because, hey, look at me. I'm common sense successfully. Push that like button. Say you're not dumb. I'm dumb at times. I can admit that. See, you got a problem, you can admit it. But I have a reason for having my problem. I don't have no education like the rest of you motherfuckers. I got kicked out of school in the 5th grade. So the 4th grade is the high grade I completed. Hell, my son got a higher education than me. In the education system. Hell, I'm a prison graduate. I graduated from the University of Penitentiaries and street knowledge. Like I'm a street knowledge master, nigga. I got a master's degree in street knowledge. Like, nigga, man, what the fuck you mean? Thank you. Push that like button. All right. Where my blunt go? Did I smoke that up? I did. I smoked it all the way down to the last. Okay, I need a cup of coffee, a Swisher, and a Newport.
Was closing.
Maybe you could go the ultimate.
And as the Pentagon moves a second and third aircraft carrier strike towards the region in response to the ongoing conflict, lawmakers deeply divided on the wisdom of actively joining Israel's attacks on Iran in any capacity. The decision to influence the president will make.
The American people did not vote last November to be dragged into an endless war in the Middle East.
So either you want them to have a nuclear weapon or you don't. And if you don't, if diplomacy fails, use force.
On diplomacy, the president has indicated the window for negotiations with Iran is closing fast, but isn't yet fully closed. He also said that one man Iranians are reaching out to him to talk, but they won't do so at the White House, which the Iranian government has strongly denied. Bottom line here, Steve, is that neither Iran or Israel seems particularly interested in coming to a negotiating table right now, meaning there are no substantive talks to be had.
Tense hours as a result of American force This morning, a motion decree for Karen Reid and her defense team after a judge announced her acquittal yesterday. A Massachusetts jury found her not guilty of murder in the Reid trial, where she was accused of killing her police officer boyfriend. It comes after nearly 2 months of testimony and more than 3 days
Boy,
of deliberations.
that pretty ass white girl got off on killing that police officer. She was fine as hell too. I would have, if I was a jury member, I'd have said not guilty. She's not guilty because she fine as hell. I seen her OnlyFans page. She was Coochie pretty. How you doing? Push the like button. Sound like a chill moment to me. I got fruit tea, Newport. Oh shit. I told you, you see how the Lord answered my prayers? All I told you what I needed. I needed a Swisher, a pack of Newport, and a cup of coffee. And the Lord answered all 3 at the same damn time. And I just realized it. Amen. Nigga, what? You don't even know what the fuck I'm doing, nigga. Well, I got the new Lumières, nigga. Boy, I can just run out into a goddamn pasture of cows and just grab a cow by the back of his ass and eat raw steak, nigga, rare, nigga, right? Nigga, These little niggas right here I got. Boy, I can eat a raw cow ass right now. Just go out there and bite them on the ass. Okay. Oh yeah, this motherfucker real. Oh yeah. Real good. You see, I smoke Newport Kings. See, Newport Kings. The original Newports. Not Newport Shorts. That ain't what they call. They call Newport Kings. I'm a king. Now they got Newport Queens too. The 100s, that's the Newport Queens. So if you ever see a man smoking a 100 Newport, that's some suspect shit. I mean, he like long things in his mouth. A real man will only smoke a Newport Short, a Newport King. They don't taste the same. They not the same. Just like a man and a woman is not the same. A Newport King versus a Newport Queen 100 is not the same. Amen. Packing tobacco so you can pull cigarettes without dump. You already know that's the original concept, the purpose for doing it. You pack the tobacco so you can pull them out and they'll stay what? Stay what? Fresher a little bit longer. They ain't gonna stay fresher. Every time you get down to the last 2, 3, them motherfuckers gonna be staler than a motherfucker. As long as now if you keep that hole small, they gonna be fresh all the way to the end. But guess what? It never failed. I accidentally laid my pack down. Somebody pick up. Oh, these are Newport, and rip my shit open. I'll be mad as hell. Who the fuck opened my goddamn cigarette? I don't want to give y'all no Newport history right now, but in the beginning, when Newports used to have a television commercial on black TV, on BET, on all the television, they used to have a Newport commercial advertising Newport Kings. It was like a nigga and a female on the beach. And he was sitting there, and the female was laying out on the beach, and he was laying out in the beach chair like this. She was stretched out in a bikini with her booty, and he was smoking on a Newport like this. And she was laying there, and she was smoking on a Newport like this, laying on her stomach. And it was so cool, man, because they was like Newport Kings, Newport Queens. And it gave an illustration of what, why the cigarettes was made and who they was made for. The 100s was made for women. Women used to like the hold long cigarettes in their mouth back in the day. This is the way the women used to hold the cigarettes like this. That was a woman. It was a feminine way to smoke. And then you had the masculine way. The men, they would hold theirs like this. Yeah, cowboy. That's the way it go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, it's a masculine way to smoke a cigarette. You see a man holding a cigarette like this? Yeah, boy. That's a real man. That's a real cigarette smoker. Motherfucker holding that cigarette like this. That's a real man. Cigarette smoker. Nigga holding that cigarette like this. That's a real man. That's a cigarette smoker. But if you ever see a nigga holding a cigarette like this, yeah, girl. Yeah. That nigga suspect. Yeah. That's suspect. But, you gotta know how real niggas hold their cigarettes. You can learn a lot from a real nigga. I tell y'all. Y'all learn a lot by watching me. I can teach you some shit. Like, my dad opened his cigarettes just like that. He was a fairy. I used to believe in fairies. I used to believe in Santa Claus. I used to believe in the tooth fairy because my grandparents was well off and they was able to provide for me financially in order for me to be a child, in order for me to outlive out my childhood. You know, all children should be able to be children. And it is a parent's responsibility to be able to financially provide for those children so they can be and stay children. Children supposed to believe in the Santa Claus until they was like 11, 10, 11 years old. That's how old I was. Shit, when I found out Santa Claus, Christmas and all that shit wasn't real, man, I found out about 11 years old. I was about 11. That was the same year I robbed that store and went to prison. And I was like in the 5th grade. Real talk. I went to prison at 12 years old. Got sentenced 25 years to life in the Mississippi State Penitentiary to work as a domestic slave. For just only thing I did was rob the liquor store for a 40 ounce. No, it was a 64 ounce, 2 64 ounces of Old English 800, and I think I got like $300. I shot the bitch in the shoulder, the neck, the shoulder, the neck, the collarbone, and the shoulder. I hit her 3 times. I ain't have but 4 bullets. Bop, bop, bop. I shot 3 times. Oh, I gotta save one just in case the police pull up. I'm gonna have to shoot at the police. I was young. I was only 11 years old when I committed the crime. I ain't know no different. I told the bitch to keep her hands in there. She ain't listen. She dropped her hands. I thought she hit the silent alarm. Pop, 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 pop. Bitch, I told your ass don't move. Like, that's what I told her. Riverside, nigga. I watched that movie, Juice, when I was a kid with Tupac. That's why I say Tupac fucked my life up. I don't know about the rest of you niggas, but I don't give Tupac no glory. I don't think he was nobody to look up to. He didn't do nothing magnificent in life. He was only 25 when he died, and I don't know nobody that's 25 years old and got friends. They got friends. Like, nobody. Nobody give a fuck. Don't nobody like your ass at 25. A lot of niggas die at 25 because they think they know it all. And that's what happened. And so many of these so-called black scholars now is trying to decipher Tupac's literature like he was just this 150-year-old goddamn black man that lived on earth and had all this knowledge and wisdom. Like, this nigga was only 25. What the fuck did he know? Nothing. His mind was just, a black man mind had just started to materialize or comprehend. At 25, black men just started to, come out their shell. The fuck? And find out the nigga was gay as hell. Man, Jada Pinkett spilled the beans on Tupac. Said that Tupac was gay as fuck. And now that I think back and realize, I'm like, I never really seen this nigga with no hoes. I ain't never seen that nigga with no hoes. That nigga talked all that thug-like gangster shit, but he wasn't talking about fucking no bitches. He wasn't. He wasn't talking about putting no dick down no bitch throat. None of that shit. That nigga was talking about fucking a nigga ass up and all this. I'ma fuck you in your asshole and shit like that, nigga. Like, you better listen, decipher the lyrics. Tupac wasn't no real nigga. No. He come from a real nigga family, but he wasn't a real nigga. That nigga was sheltered and supposed to been looked up like he was the golden child. Y'all ain't never seen the movie Golden Child? That's exactly how Tupac was raised up. That nigga was an actor. And all actors, black actors, back in those days, was gay. Because they got molested and white folks were getting them in the room by themselves, sticking their finger in their ass. Yeah, I'm Jewish. Yeah, you gotta get turned. Ah! Instead of spanking them, they was poking them in the ass. Y'all don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but I'm telling you, all them little bitty actors, they mamas had to leave them in there with them. What you mean we gotta leave? Yeah, you gotta leave them here for the night. We gonna continue shooting for a couple hours. We gonna take care of them dumbass parents. Okay, we gonna leave our babies, and them babies come back looking like the next day. What happened to you? And all of a sudden, they start becoming these famous actors. I know about the truth behind Hollywood. Remember, I am a real stand-up comedian that was blowing the fuck up. Motherfuckers in Hollywood, I done performed it. They was calling me, and then when they trying to invite me to their parties and shit. Well, what really fucked me up, it was the last party I went to. It was with Steve Harvey and J. Anthony Brown, and they had this late night, midnight party, and everybody had to go. When they came in, they had a room to the left. You had to go in, take your clothes off, and put on a robe and a goddamn animal mask, and go into the goddamn other room. I would not participate. I'm not getting naked, putting on no robe, butt naked, putting on a robe, and grabbing an animal mask and going inside. I can't do it. It's snagged. The only way you can be really like, join us, you have to do this, dog. And because I didn't go into that, put them clothes on, take my clothes off and put that robe on and put that goddamn mask on and go into the room with the rest of them, I wasn't allowed to be on the Steve Harvey show. I'm just afraid that was the most scariest point of my life. I know I done shared that story with y'all several times. Yeah, it's some dark shit going on in Hollywood, and I wouldn't give a fuck who you is. You can tell me you were gonna pay me $10 million if I took off all my clothes and put that robe on and put that mask on and go off into that dark ass room. Man, it could have been a nigga standing behind that door with a baseball bat, just ready to clock me across the back of the head. Bing! And they just doing that, just take my booty. It's that easy. You ain't got no clothes on up under that robe. I can just see them. Bing! Just start squirting me with hot. No, not me. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? I know. I'm telling you. I'm a real stand-up comedian, dog.